welcome back to the Daily Raid and episode 3 of our Let's Build an Offensive System series. And today we're going to finally get into the X's and O's and starting with a run game. And we're going to be starting with the most basic building blocking scheme in my opinion, and that is the inside zone. I've said it before and I'll always say this: you can build an entire run game around just this one blocking scheme if you know how to utilize different backfield actions and augment it with tags, etc. You could build a really dynamic run game with just one scheme. But it starts with the rules of inside zone, so let's get into that. So this is how I teach my inside zone rules. It can vary, but this is how I have found is an effective way to convey the rules and understand it for my players. And the way that I teach it is every player is responsible for the gap, or the zone that is created from my backside shoulder to the backside shoulder of the person next to me, or the gap next to me. So if we're going to run inside zone to the left here, my right tackle is going to be taking his left foot, putting it down the middle in a flat step down the middle of the defensive tackle here, opening his toes to a 45-degree angle, and then he's going to be engaging the left half of the defensive tackle with his inside hand down the middle, his outside hand on the outside, or left hand down the middle, his right hand on the outside, either on the shoulder or on the rib cage, depending on where he's set up. My right guard in this situation, he is covered to the backside. Now, we're not going to step into the double team or turn our shoulders towards that defensive tackle. We want to climb through him. So my right foot, again, is going to be looking to split that inside leg of the defensive tackle. And again, huddle sometimes is hard to really show how it is, but he should be climbing more vertically. This is creating the double team. We have two hands here. We have one hand here. We get the angle of the block, hopefully going in a direction like this. And this is going to allow, in this case, our guard to release and climb to the linebacker depending on the angle that the linebacker takes. We would have a similar setup here with our nose and our center and our left guard, creating the double team, climbing to the linebacker there. And then we would have our play side tackle with a one-on-one block here. This is a basic inside zone blocking scheme to the left. Same thing going to the right, obviously. The important thing for me here is we want to create both horizontal and vertical push. So our two-hand man is providing the upfield, the angular pressure here, getting this guy moving, and our play side player in the double team is working to create the vertical push and also keep him from climbing around to the play side of the inside zone scheme. All right, so within this scheme, I utilize inside zone with 4 different plays in my blocking scheme, or in my playbook, excuse me. We're going to start out here with just a basic inside zone play. I would call this 11. Okay, so this is inside zone to the left. Our backfield action. My running back is going to be taking a couple of shuffle steps to get as close to the midline as he can. Then he's going to be going downhill towards the play side shoulder of the center. My quarterback is going to step downhill with his play side foot. If you want to think of a cross here at the feet of the running back, or feet of the quarterback, he wants to step forward into the upper left quadrant of that cross. He wants to hinge his foot over to create space for the running back to come down as close to the midline as possible. And the running back is then going to read A gap to A gap. He's going to attack the A gap. If it's clear, he's going to continue on. If it's not there, he wants to bang it back to the A gap, the backside A gap, and climb vertically from there. Quarterback is going to be reading, obviously. If the end man on line of scrimmage on the backside chases the running back, QB is going to keep. If he keeps, is contain. we're just going to hand it off. He doesn't need to be blocked. So that is 10 and 11. 11 going to the left, 10 going to the right. The next inside zone scheme play that we're going to be doing here is my 12-13. This is your veer. So we're going to be running this here to the strong side. So we're going to create a double team right here. In this case, my right guard is the two-hand man. My right tackle is the one-hand man. And we're going to carry that double team working this way. Again, we're working a double team on the back side here. Again, creating the same climb. Our backside tackle in this case is we're sift blocking this edge defender. If he does anything but try to cross our face, then we're just going to carry on to the second level. And depending on the defensive alignment, he might be going straight for the linebacker or going to the third level, depending on what we see. Our quarterback and running back. My running back is, and his alignment's a little bit off here. He should be 1 yard off, 1 yard back from the quarterback. He is going to open up with his play side foot slightly outside of the play side shoulder of the guard, and he is going to continue to go downhill through that shoulder. My quarterback is going to be stepping downhill with his play side foot. So again, if we think of that cross in front of him, he is going to take his right foot, step into the upper right quadrant of that cross, and then hinge his feet across to create a ride with the running back. And again, we're reading the end. If he keeps his contain outside, we give that handoff. If he crashes, the QB keeps it. All right. Sticking with the same scheme that we have here to the right, I also run my speed option with inside zone blocking. This would be 16-17, so this would be 16 in this case. Quarterback is attacking downhill at the edge defender on the play side. And simple give, keep, read. If he contains the QB, we pitch it. If he contains the running back, we keep it. I like to maintain as wide of a pitch relationship here as possible. I'd say minimum 4 yards. I would like 6 to 7. Get that out as wide as possible. Also need to make sure that we get some really good blocks here by our slot receiver. If we get in a situation here where this guy is difficult to read, or we have problems blocking this flat defender, we'll move the read outside and we'll read the flat defender. But normally we can just give it here on the speed option. We can just read the play side end. All right, so the last one that I want to go through is a same side inside zone. So counter inside zone, however you want to put it. So what we're going to be working here is, usually I will take this from my 2x2 or 2x0 alignment that I use with outside zone. We'll talk about that more next time. Just so we can give a play that shows this alignment that doesn't cross the QB's face. How we do it here, again, quarterback's going to hinge open to create some space. My running back is going to take a slight step back with his, going to open up his hip with his play side foot into the mesh, and then he's going to look to cut back. And again, we would be using inside zone to the left, to the right in this case. So this would be 14, 15 going the other direction. And in this case, we're being caught in a not a very good defensive alignment for us. So we would actually have base block here. Here, we would be double teaming here to the play side inside backer, and then we would hope to be able to scoop right here. This guy could create a problem if he screams down the line of scrimmage. So therefore, we would be sifting him as well. And obviously, I don't usually run this scheme against a box that looks like this, but you understand what I am going for there. All right, so those are 4 basic inside zone plays that you can run with the same blocking scheme to attack downhill, off tackle, outside, and misdirection. What I can do to that also is I can alter the play using tags, and I have a few basic tags that I use. I will use, first thing we'll start with block. For me, block is split flow. So if we are in an open twins look, we'll run everything out of the same formation here just so it doesn't confuse things. We would motion, and then we would have our H, in this case, sniff across to try to seal the B gap on the back side if we're running inside zone. So we'd still be running our same backfield action here, but now we're going to create an extra seal on the back side. We call this block. So this play would be red hip, 11 block. Hip is the motion, block is the tag, 11 is the run play. That would be inside zone to the left. We also have lead, and I usually use lead with two backs. It's a lot easier to run there, and lead is exactly what it sounds like. We're going to get our double team to the backer. We are going to get our double team. We're going to get our single block, but instead of double teaming to the backer here, our H in this particular case would be leading to the play side linebacker. So he would be looking for the linebacker, second level defender on the play side that would have been taken by the double team. If we don't have a tag and we're in two back, then the standard rule is that the H would get in pitch relationship. All right. And then finally, the last tag that we'll talk about today with this would be the flat tag. Again, we're working the same inside zone, and flat would give the same look as block, but then instead of stopping at the B gap or climbing through the B gap, he would continue to the flat. Our running back quarterback would continue their backfield action. And then if the QB keeps it, he now has a throw option out here. Usually I would utilize this, again, either with motion, so it would be red hip, 11 flat, or in this case, we're going to use a formation tag. This tag to bring the H into a wing, an H back look would be big. So this would be big red, 11 flat. Again, this is my terminology. This is my system. You build your communication system however it fits you best. For me, this is what works best for me. So as you can see here, and we can use these tags on a lot of different plays, I not only have multiple ways to utilize the inside zone scheme, I have multiple ways that I can utilize the same backfield action and get different results and give different looks to the defense without having to overcomplicate things for my guys. In situations like this, the players who run the tags are the ones who need to know what the tags do. Everybody else, they look at the play call and they know what part of the play call works for them. In offensive linemen, they just hear the play call or the play, the number. Receivers know where they are in the formation. That tells them where to block. We keep things simple, and the simpler things are, the more we can add to them without overcomplicating things. All right, so that's the inside zone. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about the outside zone and the wide zone and working to get our defenders covering sideline to sideline in the run game and utilizing the entire field in the run game. But that's next time. Thank you for watching today, and we'll see you next time.